Hi everybody, welcome back. In this video clip I'm going to be showing you this knife here, and this is the Scrapyard Trash 1. Scrapyard is a subsidiary company of Boost Combat Knives, and this is basically one of the budget friendly knives, I would say. This one here is made of SR 101. Used this steel many times and it's worked really good, really tough, really like how it performs. I have found it quite difficult when I lose the edge totally to get an edge back on it. I need to get it back to the house and take it to the stones to work at it to get it back, but I suppose that would be the same with most blades. And here you can see the black traction coating, which is really heavy duty, and in my previous knives has lasted really well. I've actually in the past taken a bit of sandpaper to smooth it off a bit, just to help when it comes to battening so it doesn't bind up, and it still lasts, and you can actually see the grain through that, so it's made to last. These make fantastic soldier knives, survival knives, a general purpose wood knife. If you're looking for something that's tough and can take a fair bit of heavy duty use, I can recommend the Scrapyard knives. The knife specs then, as we can see here on the ruler, it has an approximate overall length of 29.5 centimeters. It has a blade height of approximately 4.5 centimeters. Hopefully you can pick this out. It has a high sabre to flat grind on it with a large index finger choil. The handle is the C-Res neoprene type material, which is very comfortable, gives a lot of good thermal properties and helps a lot with the shock absorbency. So here's a size comparison between a few other blades that you might be familiar with. The bottom one here is the Ontario Pilot's knife. The middle one's obviously the one we're reviewing, the Scrapyard Trash 1. And the top one is the BK9. So hopefully this helps you out with a size comparison. Right, let's see how we got on with a chop test here. This down pine tree is roughly about 45 inches thick. So we'll give that a try and see how we got on with the chopping. About that thick. Excuse the dog. There we go. Very comfortable in the hand. The handle material, C-Res, absorbs the shock. Nice and positive grip even with the gloves on. Then we'll try it with no gloves to see how the shock transfers into the hand, but the C-Res grip is really good for absorbing shock. You'll need to excuse Royal in the background because he keeps coming into shot because I'm not paying him enough attention. I've got on a pinky lanyard and I'll go to a local grip. The log's slightly thicker this time. Let's see how we get on. taking big chunks out, really comfortable. There we go. Yeah, great. Slight bit there, just with the rubber rubbing onto my middle finger, but nothing to talk about, what you would expect for hand without the glove. So thick. Yeah, great chopper for a medium sized knife, very comfortable. C-Res grip definitely helps absorb the shock, gives a good positive grip. Happy with that. So here we have a piece of ash, I think it is, to my front, so we'll give the trash a go at battening. Let's see it gets on. Oh, well, no good start, just broke straight off. That was good. That's how thick it is. Okay, let's see how we get on it splitting down some kindling. Easy. Yeah, very comfortable with the handle material. Knot here. So we've just battened through this ash. I've took a bit off. I just want to see how it'll perform after doing the battening with a bit of feather. Now, you know, because of the style of knife this is, you know, it's a general purpose, good all round survival knife, good soldier's knife, kind of a jack of all trades, so we know it's not going to be brilliant at doing feather sticks, but it'll get the job done. And if you take your time, you will get there, and I'm sure they will be able to light. So it's got the sabre to flat grind here, and it seems to slice quite good with this edge geometry they've put on it, and I'm happy so far with everything that's done. So let's see how we get on with the kind of, let's say, the more refined tasks, as in doing feathers. So here we go. Oh, not bad, there's a good curl. It's not too bad. Obviously I need to get used to the edge, but that's producing really decent curls there. The square index choil here allows you to get more control, helps stabilise the blade while doing it, which is a good addition to the knife. Obviously I've had a lot better, and I've had a lot worse as well. Right, what I'll do then is I'll see if I can get this to strike. Right, so here's the feathers that we've done, and I'll go and try and light them with the trash. One thing about the scrapyard that I've noticed in the past, because of the type of coating they have on them, basically there's no 90-degree edges, and that's one thing I don't like about them, and that would be one thing I would change, is put an extended butt that I could scrape a fire steel to get it going. What I do with the trash is I actually use the cutting edge. I find with the SR101 the steel is hard enough and it doesn't deform the edge at all. So let's see if we can get this feather stick going, the one that we just done there with it. The wood is a bit damp still, we'll see how it gets on. Right, just my normal fire steel. I say there's no any 90-degree edges. As you can see, it just slides straight off it. Try the square fire choil. Oh, a bit there. Maybe that was a fluke. Try down near the tip. Tiny bit. Maybe. But just for the sake of the video clip here, I'm going to use the edge. So don't do this with your knives at home, okay? Preserve your edge at all costs. Right, let's see how we get on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, even though it's damp, they have went, so it does do curls. Oh, it's going back out again. Just a wind here. So it does do curls fine enough, you can get them lit. I think that's really good for a blade with the blade height it's got on it. So happy enough with that, so I'm going to get a pass. Now let's have a look at the edge then, after doing the fire steel scraping. As you can see, there's no chips, rolls, waves, dents, any deformation in the blade itself. And that's one thing I find with the SR101, it's really tough, holds a really good edge, and it can take that type of abuse. So as a soldier's knife, yeah, I would recommend this one. If you're out in the woods and do a lot of camping and you're going through logs this size, like I've got in my fire, and you do that quite a lot, well, you need something that really works for you, and something can take a bit of abuse, and these are the knives for that job. The sabre flat grind really does help with the heavy duty tasks, and it allows you to do a fair bit of slicing also. So knowing the purpose of your blade is really important before you go about purchasing one, and your blade geometry, so and the types of edges that they have on them. So your flat grinds, we're talking, say there for slicing material like leather, your meat, your cardboard. Your Scandi edges are good for light to medium bushcraft tasks, a bit of carving. Your convex is more for the heavy duty chopping and heavy duty camp tasks, shelter building, and that edge usually can take the most amount of punishment out in the woods. The sabre gives you a bit of the slicing capability plus a bit of toughness as well to be able to do things like battening, and still gives you that slicing capability. And your hollow grinds, well, they're basically for meat, aren't they, and for hunting blades. So make sure you know what you're looking for before you go purchasing a blade. Don't just go with what people are saying on YouTube, you know. We all can get caught up in that from time to time, and I've done that myself. Bought some blades and went, these are absolutely rubbish, because I've not taken into consideration what I was doing. I was just going on the hype, like a lot of us do. Bought the knife and went, these are crap. But one thing I can say about these scrapyard knives, if you're looking for a heavy duty knife that can take a fair bit of use, a good survival knife, a good soldier's knife, I would recommend this. Right, one of my hates with the Bussy company and Scrapyard and Swamp Rat is they make knives and they come to you with no sheath, and that's one of my pet hates. I mean, what you're supposed to do, walk about the woods all day with a knife in your hand? Right, so obviously they'll come up with some crap excuse for sending it to you and why they don't give you a sheath with it. And I think it's just ridiculous, the money that we actually have to pay, because once it comes into the country we've got 20% tax to pay plus £25 for postage and packaging on top of that. So a knife that was expensive to start with becomes really expensive. So this is one of the big letdowns, is the price of the knives and also the fact that they send them to you without a sheath. So here's the sheath I've got in here. And as I said to you earlier, another thing is they don't come with 90-degree edges, so you can actually scrape a fire steel, and that'd be something you need to put in the knife yourself. So here's the sheath I've got, and it's just a nylon sheath here, and it has a big front pocket on it, and I have a castrum dangler that I use so I can clip it on and off my belt, and it stays in here nice and secure. What I had to do was unscrew the nut here, take out the liner, you can see it there, and heat it up with a heat gun. And you can see my knife, it's a heavy knife and it hangs upside down and it won't fall out. So I had to make that for myself. The other thing I've got in the sheath there, because I don't have a 90-degree spine, is a decent fire steel and fire steel scraper. Carry that in there, and there's plenty of room also to put a sharpening stone on. But that's my fire steel that I use, it's called Survive, and at the base you have a storage compartment for putting like your cotton wool in, and that's what I carry on the outside pouch here. So that's one of my big dislikes and pet hates with dealing with the Boost company, is you don't get any sheath.